Hey guys, Jess with Peekaboo Wreaths. So I wanted to do this next step with you guys of adding in the ribbon tails and adding in some of our raffia. It's actually a hula skirt. I have been doing this all season. I heard about it from another wreath maker. At first I thought it was a little crazy, but you know what? Sometimes things are a little bit unconventional, but they work out beautifully. So let's just keep doing it. I've really been liking the look. I've been trying to use up what I have in my stash before buying new stuff this season, and that's been working for me. So if you want to tune into our playlist to see how we made this base, we used 3 different colors of mesh, and we cut them to 30 inches long. They're 10-inch mesh cut to 30 inches long, 18 pieces. We're going to be adding in our ribbon tails today and that burlap. I have this pretty burlap and metallic orange. And then we also have, let me try to move you guys up a little bit. Sorry about that. Let's see. Sorry. Okay. And then we have this really pretty burlap with the white polka dots and navy blue. So we're gonna start adding that in. I always cut these to 13 inches long. We have a 1.5-inch piece and then a 2-inch piece on the bottom. I always put a little bit of an arc into it and make it like an inverted V, and then I'll tie it into the wreath. I just twist the twist ties maybe like 2 or 3 times and then just tuck them underneath. No need to cut them or anything like that. Before I add my pipe cleaners onto my wreath frame, I always cut 1 inch or 2 off. Actually, since we're going to be adding in that raffia, let's not twist that underneath. Let's just twist it a time, maybe once or twice, and then we'll come back through with that raffia. So we have this right here, this really pretty burlap polka dot in navy blue. I don't really like the way that burlap polka dot looks, so I'm going to put that underneath. Normally I put the design one on top, but it must have been towards the end of the roll or something because it looks a little creasy. A little creasy. Is that a technical term? Creasy? Well, it does look a little creasy. There's some creases in there. It doesn't look crazy. It does look a little creasy. All right, so there we go. We're just gonna separate those out a little bit. There we go. We're just gonna keep alternating them and moving all the way around the wreath. Just like that. Fan it out a little bit and then put it down into that pipe cleaner. Just like that. Give it 1 twist and then turn. And then turn and just keep going. Let me see. I don't like the angle here. Let me see if I can move it, tilt it up a little bit. There we go. That's a little bit better. Okay. I'm just going to put that navy blue on top, fold it once, and then open it back up. This wreath is already looking nice and full. It's already about 24 inches wide. So when I add the ribbons and all of the embellishments on, it'll be closer to 25 inches, which is just how I like it. I like my wreaths to be nice and full, not so full that they can't fit into a decent sized shipping box, but full enough to definitely command attention and command its presence on my customer's door. I noticed that the people that do like my wreaths, they tend to be the type that, you know, if you're appreciating handmade, you want it to look definitely more special than a basic wreath that you would buy at the store. Nothing against those wreaths, but I do know that the customers that do go to Etsy, they know that they're looking for something more special and more custom, so that's what I'm delivering for them. It's all in the details here at Peekaboo Wreaths. So we're just fanning those ribbon tails out, trying to make them as even on both sides as possible. You want to get right in the middle, and that's why I line them up and then fold them in half so that we do get it as close to centered as possible. A lot of things in wreath making I've learned, it's definitely not about, you know, being perfect or, you know, following an exact set of rules, but more about symmetry and making sure that, you know, if you do something to one side, you do it to the other. You know, there's like when I add embellishments in, normally odd numbers look best, or if I put the bow in the middle and the top here, that leaves four spots available, and a lot of times I'll try to do the same thing to one side as I do on the other, it's just a little bit more pleasing to the eye for things to look a little matchy in a way. Not exactly, but you know. So here we go. I'm really excited to be able to be putting together this wreath so quickly after selling the other one in my shop. I do have one more orange and blue wreath available currently, so that is available for my customer. But I like having two available, one that has a ribbon that says eagles on it, and one that is just the orange and blue together, in case the customer has a team that they're supporting that does not have the eagles as a mascot. I want to make sure that I can provide for them what they need and what they want. There we go. And we're just going all the way around. And I do have some I already made a bow, so if you want to go check that video out. And then we're going to be adding in our raffia, which is actually a grass skirt, like a hula skirt, but it looks gorgeous as added into the wreath. And it's a lot less messy than regular raffia. Regular raffia comes in a bundle, and I have to like separate it out into equal bunches, and so that, you know, I make sure that I have enough for all the ties, and then a lot of times it sheds all over the floor before I can tie it into the wreath, which I mean isn't the biggest deal, but I like this idea of adding in that grass skirt. It looks really pretty. So now we're going to go around the top. We're all done with our bottom layer, because our bottom layer has 12 ties. Our top has 6, but we only put ribbon in 5 of them, because one of them will have the bow added, which is this dark blue one right here. It's really pretty. This dark blue mesh, it's called border mesh, and because the border has metallic stripes in it, which are really pretty. So that's a pretty detail. Again, these are 1.5 inch ribbons, folding them in half, gathering them, making them have a little bit of an arch in them, and then arch, which one? Just tying them in once, because again, we're going to be putting that raffia in. And then going around. You have to let me know where you guys are watching from. We're here in Michigan. Southeast Michigan is where we're located here. I was watching this really funny video about, not funny, it was a little bit informational about accents. I always thought like linguistics was really interesting, and about how different places have different accents and they don't realize that they have one. And I was kind of wondering that. I have heard before, I met someone before that was from Australia, and he said that different places in Michigan, even the people have different accents, which, you know, he would pick up on it probably more than I would, since he's not used to hearing people that aren't Australian as much, probably. So I'm just curious, do you have an accent from where you are? I know that Michigan, they tend to say, like, I've heard like the long A's, like, you know, are more prominent, but I don't hear it as much because I'm used to it, probably. All right, this is our last set of ribbons. And then we're going to go around and put our raffia in. There we go. The rest of the ribbon tails that I have cut for that, I will be using in the next wreath. So this is our hula skirt. Let me get my scissors, and it's really nice. It has it like connected to the string, like right here. So if you just cut like 3 at a time, then you have enough for the raffia to go all the way around the wreath. And then you just gather it like this, make that little loop, and then gather it in the middle and put it down into the wreath. And at this point, you can twist the twist tie or the pipe cleaner all the way around, and then just tuck it underneath like that, and then you have You got that little cutesy bundle of raffia or straw or grass skirt or whatever you want to call it. You just want to kind of make it as even as you can. If you wanted to, you could always not cut it, and you could just make it into a bow on both sides, which will be pretty too. It's just up to you and what your preferences are. There we go. And then just fluff it a little bit. Cut the 3 pieces. Fold it over. Cut that. You'll have to let me know too. So I use like one pair of scissors for my ribbon, and then I use wire cutters for like florals and stuff like that. But technically, wire ribbon has wire in it, so eventually your scissors will dull out because they're cutting wire, not just fabric, right? So I was just curious if you use your nice ribbon scissors, do you use them to cut florals too? If you're a wreath maker, do you take the time to stop and switch out your cutter, or what do you do with it? Just thinking. I don't know why I was thinking about that, but I guess the things that come through your mind when you are recording and talking to yourself, I guess. There we go. All right, now we're going down to the bottom level. There are 6 ties on the top, 12 on the bottom. And we're just doing the same thing, going through. I am gonna leave, I think. So I like to add in footballs. So let me see, 1, 2, 3. I'm gonna add a football down here. This is the top layer, so I'm gonna untwist this just a couple times to remind myself that I'm gonna put a football in there. I'm gonna twist it once to keep the raffia in, but just while I'm thinking, I like to, so I buy my foam footballs on Amazon. They kind of look like kids foam footballs, or like those stress balls, but they're brown, and I take like an eye screw, like a little tiny screw that has like an eyelet on the top. It's like this long, and I will take super glue and stick it in the little hole, and then put that eye screw in there, and then let it dry overnight, and then I attach them into my wreath that way instead of trying to glue them in. I don't really trust that foam will stick, even with Gorilla Glue hot glue, because of the heat in the different environments that these wreaths ship. I know that foam doesn't always stick the best in my experience with just hot glue. So yes, I do the eyelets, then I twist them into my pipe cleaners. And then I put a little bit of hot glue sometimes on the outside part just to make it stick and make it stay. Because sometimes it gets a little floppy if I don't tie it in tight enough. And nobody wants a floppy football. Right? So, anyways, just tying this in. I left the one pipe cleaner undone a little bit because I'm going to be putting in 1 football on the top, and then I think I'm going to be putting 3 footballs around the outside. So since there's 12 on the outside, 12 ties on the outside, if we use 3, then that means we need 9 more of something else. I like to put something in every single ribbon tie, whether it's a floral or pumpkin or something, to hide that pipe cleaner. I know that's It's kind of obvious if you turn over the wreath that I do use pipe cleaners to attach the ribbon and the mesh, but at the same time, I know that my item is homemade. It's made by real hands, but at the same time, I don't want it to look homemade, if that makes sense. I want to make sure that I'm giving my customer like the most professional looking item that I can. So yeah. Okay, so 1, 2, 3. And that means that this one will be, I'm doing my math is mathing right. That means that this one will be the one that gets a football in it. I'm going as fast as I can around here, just tying in. I just twist it one time because that's going to get the football, like I said. And we're just going around, snipping off those grass pieces. What's kind of nice too is I like this material because it reminds me of a scarecrow and different scarecrow decorations that you might put up, or a scarecrow that you see or that you associate with fall and fall decorations. I just think that's really pretty. And it gives you all the fall feels. You have to let me know what kind of decorations you put up for fall. If you're more like traditional with the pumpkins, or if you like more glamorous, like leopard fall, or even, you know, the pink fall look. You'll have to let me know what to think about that. Almost all done. I have 2 more in the bottom. If I have any left on the skirt, instead of throwing it away, I'll use it in the empty spot on the top where I'll be putting my bow, because then a little bit of the raffia will just kind of peek out behind it, and that'll give it an extra little detail. It's all in the details around here at Peekaboo Wreaths. I know that when I purchase things, I notice the details, so I know that my customers have come to expect that as well, which I appreciate that. You know, that every order is special and every customer is valued, but repeat customers kind of hit differently for me, because I feel like, you know, they took a chance on you. You proved they can trust you, and they chose to come back with all the different choices that they have out there. So I love it. So thankful. All right, so go down the top. I'm all done with the bottom now. I'm just getting that top last one that I twisted underneath. I'm gonna just open up that pipe cleaner a smidge, put down a little bit of the raffia, and twist it in, and then we're all done. All right, so next time I see you, we'll be adding in our embellishments and our bow that we made. If you want any of the other steps in this, just head over to the video section. There you go. What do you think? Like, comment, and subscribe for more information and tutorials. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.